No, like be in the mood and just talk about the movie.
So originally, I watched The Pilgrim because I thought it was going to be a bad movie, and that's generally what we talk about here. But I was actually pleasantly surprised with the entire experience that I just had. It's kind of love it or hate it, and I feel like it's going to be that way for everybody who watches it because of how distinct the movie itself is. I think the thing that impressed me the most, and is probably going to be the thing that turns off the most people, is the way that cinematography is incorporated into every element of this movie. Even the early scenes, there's this dinner party, and it uses a bunch of different shots to a bunch of different ends. For example, a character enters the room, the camera focuses on that character, looks across the room, and the characters in the background come into focus. Little stuff like that builds to a very captivating experience even during the earlier parts of the movie. It also uses cinematography tricks as a means of establishing tension earlier than it would normally be there. So there's parts where the main character is talking to the enemy pilgrim guy, and everything that he's saying on a literal face value seems to be well intentioned. It's like, hey, you've got a really nice family, I really like it here, I'm really grateful for this experience. But then, at the same time, the way it's shot, the shadows are cast onto his face, there's dramatic music playing, and then the actor goes for a menacing performance. It all culminates into a very compelling moment. It builds up a lot of these before the actual horror elements of the story kick in. One of the things it does early on is it uses a character's absence and the focus of the story to build tension in a situation that otherwise wouldn't be there. To where even the chronology of the story is being used as a means to tell it. A good example of the ways that it approaches this, because it does so many different things there. The mom goes looking for one of the kids, and she goes into his room, and the camera focuses on his glasses. This, plus his absence in the room, gives us the context that he didn't leave by his own choice, otherwise he would have been wearing his glasses. I think smart little choices like this throughout are what makes this movie so impeccable. Even beyond that, I really love how much it committed to the idea. So the basic plot of the story is there's this family, they have a stepmom, the stepmom and the daughter don't get along, the dad is kind of absentee from the family, and then the son's precocious and loved by everyone. It's basic dynamics. At dinner, the main character snaps a wishbone, and she wishes that the Thanksgiving feast is going to backfire in the stepmom's face. They're upper middle class, and the mom tries to fit in with her friends. That doesn't work out so great. This is sort of the jump-starting moment of our story, and then we get introduced to the enemy pilgrim people. They're led by Ethan, and that's this guy, or this guy, or this guy, depending on where they put it. He does an amazing job of just fully committing. Even the characters in the universe comment on it, which I thought was a nice touch. They're Thanksgiving Day reenactors, but he's always in character, and he slowly incorporates his culture into the family's house, starting with him building a shed, and followed by things like him replacing the light bulbs with candles. It also serves as a means for the movie getting rid of cell phones pretty early on in a way that feels natural and integrated into the story. The movie does a great job of establishing the villains as a credible threat and giving us plenty of reasons to not like them. Even very early on, it's hard to relate to a pilgrim. That's one of my favorite parts about it, is that it goes full tilt into a concept that I would have thought was dumb until it proved otherwise. It didn't shy away from the fact that it was going murder pilgrims. The way that they used the pilgrim element, and even some of the scarier parts of the movie, is a testament to their skill in storytelling. One of the things I found really amazing about this movie is how good the plot economy is. So basically, every element of the story is useful to some parts, right? Like we have parts that are useful structurally and other parts that are useful thematically. A good example of this is like Moby Dick. Structurally, kind of boring. It's just about a guy trying to repeatedly kill a whale. Thematically, pretty interesting because those same elements contribute to the meaning of obsessiveness as a theme. In this movie, pretty much every element of it serves triple duty. A good example is the idea of Thanksgiving itself. It serves as the villain's motivation, the family not being thankful for what they have, but also a reason for the main character's discomfort since she has a bad history with the day. She brings up the difference in the way that our generation views it as opposed to like our parents' generation. It also ties into the whole Pilgrim thing. It's just really well woven as a concept. A good example of this is the crow scene. The precocious child character is putting stones around an injured bird so that bugs and stuff don't get to it. The Pilgrim guy, Ethan, comes out and talks to him, and he's like, "Oh, what a sweet boy you are, caring for this bird from nature." And then he offers him a piece of candy. And then the kid starts eating the candy, and Ethan talks about this bird who had a piece of meat, and then it was chasing a mouse, and because of it, it lost the meat. Precocious kid responds that it's because he kind of got greedy there, and the kid asks for if he could have another one. Ethan tells him, "What would it mean if you couldn't?" And the kid says, "I should just be thankful for the one I have." The movie uses this moment to introduce Ethan's motivations, taking things away from people so that they feel more grateful for what they have. The kid runs off happy that he got a second piece of candy. It's kind of graphic, I'm sorry. I probably should have put a disclaimer there if you're a bird person. Ethan goes on to crush the bird with his foot. This one scene, they give us our villain's motivations, but also his mindset towards them and his hypocrisy. It also uses the Pilgrim element's weirdness to sort of advance the discomfort. I would say that Pilgrim is somewhere between like a theme park ride and a comic book. The end of the movie gets into some cheesy weird territory, and I know you would be thinking that it's got pilgrims, it's probably already cheesy. And it is a little bit, but it takes itself very seriously for the first half. It's a very artistic endeavor for a movie that is about, pilgrims. I feel like it's both a good thing and a bad thing because it's a good payoff, but it's pretty gross to look at. I really like the main character in this movie. I feel like the actress did a good job, but also the script gave her a lot of opportunities to be resourceful. In my negative column, I think this movie is actually better than its premise, which sounds like a compliment, but I feel like you could have put all that energy into a much better idea than Thanksgiving.
Just relax, babe.
This movie is like the Mormon Sin City. This movie is like an Amish nightmare. This movie is like Oregon Trail meets Five Nights at Freddy's. This movie is like if somebody saving themselves from marriage had something else to talk about. This movie is like a 6th grade history lesson that wants to kick your ass. Try not to spoil anything because I really want you guys to see this movie because, again, love it or hate it. And I'd love to know which side you fall on when it comes to this one because I feel like it's such a stylistic movie that you have to feel some way about it. That's been the movie. Those were my thoughts. Love to know your thoughts in the comments down below.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe, like Vanessa said.
It stopped. Just go.